Hello, everybody, and welcome to DM Writer's Room, a show where we demystify the DMing process by coming up with monsters, magic items, and dungeons live. And for once, I don't need to change up the intro, which is kind of its own event. At this point, it's sort of like going to see Shakespeare play somewhere and discovering that they're just doing the normal Shakespeare play. It's kind of a treat. It's like, oh, you're not doing anything weird. There's no like weird high concept somebody came up with in high school. We're just doing Macbeth? Sick, I guess I'll see Macbeth. We are making a dungeon. Our random element, we used to pepper our way through quite a few random elements. Our random element this time is based on our recent all-consuming brain worm, which is Magic: The Gathering. I want to take the time to say, Spencer and Michael have both been playing longer than I have. I believe Michael is our sort of itinerant long-term Magic player, correct?
Kinda. I played a good bit in high school and then dropped it for a little bit, and then played a little bit in college.
Yeah.
And then dropped it again, and then kind of got back into it with Spencer.
And from there it spread to Spencer, who then, as of this July or so, roped me into this. And now things have gotten severely out of hand. So we are going to be using as the random factor for our dungeon random cards from our 3 decks. Looking for inspiration. I have the hiccups. The only thing we aren't going to keep is a land. If you pull a land, you're going to pull something else. I guess unless it's like a utility land.
Unless it's something
fun.
really cool, because then we can use it as a setting.
And I think instant sorceries and enchantments are on a watch list. It's like maybe that gets to stay. I think
here's my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle land. Go.
Yeah, I already said no Spider-Man for me because it's one of my decks and he's not allowed.
I will be pulling from mono black necromancy.
A sneak peek.
A lot of sacrificing creatures and having like 9 cards that say every time you sacrifice a creature, all opponents take 1 damage and you gain 1 life. So we'll see how that works out. What about Spencer? What are you rocking with today?
I've got Sidar Jabari. It's a knight tribal deck. It's all knights with a couple of little weird dudes in there. There's like a changeling, there's an angel, but it's knights. I thought that was sort of on brand.
The Edgar Markov level CEDH deck that Spencer keeps bringing to casual nights.
I only have 3 decks, and one of them is all proxies.
That's all right. That's all right. We don't get heat.
All right, Michael. What's up? What are you yanking out of today?
I'm yanking from my Bellow deck. So we're trying to get a little whimsical woodland creature from here.
Now I will say
real vibe clash between me and Michael.
We say a whimsical little creature. I've seen some really, really messed up monsters in that deck.
Oh yeah.
Like I wanted us to have a friendly NPC from Michael's deck. That's not a guarantee. That is not a guarantee at all.
There could be the all-consuming wolf from there that eats all the living creatures.
That's what I'm thinking about. That's exactly what I'm thinking of.
We pulled 3
There's a fiery phoenix that murders.
Now that'd be pretty sick.
In there. It would be.
So who wants to take first draw? Are we doing this kind of tarot? Let's do this tarot style. Spencer, you pick mine, Michael will pick yours, and then I'll pick Michael's. I'm just gonna shuffle. I'm just gonna do like these kinds of shuffles. And Spencer, you just tell me when to cut it out.
And stop.
All right, top card, or do you want me to cut and then draw?
Cut and then draw.
Cut and then draw. All right. Oh, land. All right, I have a sorcery. Final parting. Search your library for 2 cards, put 1 into your hand and the other into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. It's Liliana walking through a field with some crows. And there's like a spectral hand. The flavor text, sleep now, brother. That is the one gift I can give you, Liliana Vess.
Okay, so we have the death of maybe a sibling or a blood brother, somebody like that takes up arms with you.
So we have a final parting of a close person, and we also have this. It's also like a tutor. It's a tutor card. It's get 2 cards out of your deck, put 1 in your hand, put 1 in the graveyard. So it's a Also kind of a... So we've got like kind of a necromancy tutor fetch kind of thing going on too.
Yeah, a little fetch, maybe like a fork in the road, big decision to make.
Options.
I've got mine. Ethan, you're gonna have to tell me when to stop shuffling.
Michael would have to tell you, and then I would have to tell Michael, because the range of our cameras.
And,
Michael?
Keep on shuffling and stop.
Okay. Do you want it off the top, or do you want it cut?
Get me off the top.
That is a land.
Hmm.
Valiant Knight. The knightiest knight I have in this deck.
Perfect.
Creature, human knight. Other knights they control get +1/+1. And then his quote is, defeat is no reason for retreat. It is a sign we must redouble our efforts to win this fight. Valiant Knight has another knight on the back of his lion with him. And the other knight is injured with like an arrow wound, and Valiant Knight saved that knight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave him out.
So the Valiant Knights, so we're forging ahead, bravery.
Yep. Exactly. Sorry, I dropped a couple cards.
All good.
All right.
Ready?
We got a big war thing going right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we do. All right, I'm gonna start shuffling. Just say when to stop.
I wait for 9 uninterrupted minutes.
Just until the end of stream.
Stop.
All right. Top or cut?
Top.
Oh.
My brain almost
You weren't
changed
sure
its
until the
mind
last
halfway
second.
through that one.
So that's kind of funny what I just pulled. I got Pyre Swipe Hawk. It's the Phoenix I was just talking
It's the
about.
Phoenix.
It's the Phoenix I was just mentioning.
Okay.
So Pyre Swipe Hawk, creature, elemental bird, flying haste. When it attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is raised mana value among artifacts. So he just gets really strong on first swing. There is no flavor text on this guy.
I think we know what we
Zero
need to
in
know
on that.
about
Let's
this.
just zero in on that art one more time. Get that art up in cam, and let's see how much of that we can really.
Yeah, big ass Phoenix burning up looks like a village with some windmills.
Or those people with hats.
Well, it's like a little forest village of little animals.
So it's regular hawk size in universe.
Pretty much.
Okay. So we've got a Phoenix, we've got a Valiant Knight, and we have a Farewell.
Hear me out. I'm going somewhere. Final Knight
Who's got that?
has an ally on the card who's injured. Here's what I'm imagining. Hear me out. We're leaning into deck theme a little bit here.
Okay.
I'm imagining a knight who rides a phoenix, famous figure of myth and legend, in a battle, both injured. Phoenix is injured, it crashes into the ground, Phoenix dies. So we have this famous knight with the egg that was in like the ashes of that phoenix running to like a dungeon, running away. He's like injured or something. He stores the egg safely and then he dies, and we have this like temple to this knight who saved this like Phoenix Knight guy. That's giving me the final parting. It's giving us the Phoenix and this knight
Very
character.
cool,
Anything
very
in
cool.
there? Anything?
I like it.
It can
I
just
think-
be where the knight buried his Phoenix friend if we want to do it that way. If we want to take one step back.
And I mean, that's pretty cool. All that we need to figure out at that point is like, why do we need the Phoenix egg?
Yeah, what are we doing
like
here?
for the party? Yeah, I think that covers most of it. The other thing I was thinking of was
To me, these three cards went like immediately together. I was like, oh yeah, for sure.
My thought is there was two warring factions. There's Valiant Knight, and then there's the Necromancer on Ethan's card. Valiant Knight wins this battle, and in so doing finds an injured member of the opposing army, who's probably really high up, and takes them to be cared for. Your necromancer character is, best friends with, in love with, sibling to, whatever, that person who's gone from the battlefield. When they get there in an attempt to raise them, they can't find it. They can't find them. The only way to bring somebody back with no piece of them remaining is to get, a phoenix's blessing, etc. So they're after this phoenix. The brother's alive this entire time. You need to solve for both issues and probably deal with the phoenix that's been let loose into the prime plane and is fucking stuff up. That's my counter. And I'm not sold either way.
Very fun.
All right, so we have sort of a knight versus necromancer phoenix tier play of disasters or something, like victim of circumstance thing where people just don't understand the situation. And then my sort of, Tomb of the Phoenix Knight style kind of classic dungeon where it's like there's a guy dead in there, get his sword or whatever. Michael, do you have a separate thought, a vote in either direction, a third different idea?
I enjoy both of them. Both very whimsical. I don't have much to add to either.
I don't know. We have an hour and 10 minutes. Do we want to try to build 2 dungeons? I don't know.
Now, we can combine, if we make the Phoenix Temple part of my story, it would just be that the necromancer infiltrated the Phoenix Keep and freed the Phoenix that way and is now rampaging. So you have to deal with this necromancer who's trying to get the Phoenix that's escaped. And you have to deal with, the Phoenix itself, bringing back all that shit.
Okay. I'm curious to see how it's going to sort of shake out. I'm curious to see how our players are going to be the cool person in the room when there's the Divine Knight, the Necromancer's brother, the all-powerful Necromancer, and the Phoenix, and our guy is like, why aren't you guys doing this? Mm-hmm. What do you imagine is like, why are we... Like, what avenue for involvement is there? Are we, like, part of the Necromancer's party or something? Like, where do you see... Like, who's calling for help, and they're like, I don't need to contact the Knight. I need these 4 assholes from Silverdale to come in and do whatever.
I think the Knight is just kind of a regular Knight. Like, he's not super powerful. He's not fucking level 15 or whatever. He's just one of the Knights on the battlefield. He's probably, like, a cool dude, maybe, like, level 6. But you're getting called for help because a Phoenix is destroying villages. You are one of the idiots in the villages, so you need to deal with this problem. You find out that this necromancer has brought it back. You have to go back to the temple where it was freed to figure out how to defeat the Phoenix or get it back into its, cage or elemental plane.
Can I make a slant just that we don't have 2 locations because we're trying to lean kind of dungeon-wards? For the text of Final Parting, which is the other person does die, let's keep the Necromancer's brother, and let's just have them actually be dead, and have the Necromancer actually need these Phoenix tears or whatever.
Yeah.
And if we want to have this Divine Knight, I could see 2 places they could come in. Either, number 1, they are the Guardian of the Phoenix, or whatever the fuck, and they're like, we must seal it back away so it can be safe. Or they are a paladin, and they consecrated the dead, and that's why... the brother can't come back, right? Like, you can't raise a dead body if it has been blessed and sacramentalized and buried and all that shit. So those are 2 kind of slant ventures that push us in more of the same direction.
Yeah. I think Valiant Knight as Tomb Keeper, perfect.
All right, so you are in a morally dubious race against time. I guess it is that this necromancer is kind of willing to let this phoenix it has let loose in pursuit of rescuing their brother either by blood or bond. They're just willing to let it burn 19 villages down because they're like, don't care. Sorry, too busy doing dope wizard shit. Too busy.
Gotta bring him back. I don't care about the village. I
What's
care
the-
about my brother.
What's the fucking Dio mistranslation from the original JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? How many bread have you eaten? The necromancer's like, it's burning down villages. And he's like, yeah, and? Villages are
That's
always
what
burning
phoenixes
down.
do.
Yeah. It's another one is the game didn't turn out to be very good, but Dragon Age Inquisition, one of Solus's big lines, the guy's like, people are dying, Solus, and he goes, that's what people do, and just like blasts the guy, and you're just like, Jesus, this is a huge
That's
reversal of your energy from the last game. All right, cool. So this necromancer is just, kind of at any cost. Do we want, are they trying to kill the phoenix and we're trying to protect it? Do they need the blood of the heart of a phoenix and they need to kill it? Or is it a more, locality thing and it's like they just need the tears of a phoenix or whatever?
It probably makes the most sense for them to have to kill it.
Yeah,
I could see the necromancer going into a town and turning a bunch of townsfolk into, zombie thralls to try and capture this thing as it comes down to burn out the village. So you have to deal with the undead, you have to deal with the phoenix itself, and the necromancer.
And I like that because that also gives us a good reason for why the necromancer truly doesn't give a shit that these towns are burning down. Beyond villainy playing into the whole thing is they're like, yeah, that gives me a bunch of charred bodies to bring back. You
That's
see
perfect.
this swarm of zombies following the path of destruction, and they're all burnt.
Yeah,
Michael, what were you gonna say?
I was definitely on the lines of they want to kill the phoenix. Probably the ingredient they need is the recent ashes of a phoenix, because it's gonna reform from the ashes, so it feels like a rebirth ingredient.
Yeah, they need to kill it so that they can get access to whatever appears in the moment that it is born. Kind of a weird metaphor for stem cells we're doing, but all right, it's fine. Okay. Cool. So then we are trying to stop. All right, so now I just need one more bit, which is why are we trying to stop the necromancer? The necromancer is kind of self-moving towards the end of the process. So why do we need to stop them? Do we need I feel like we need a reason to stop them and to have the players not be like, we'll just kill the phoenix, being the dipshit third option that I could see the players going to, is being like, if we kill the phoenix, the necromancer will leave.
Well, if you kill the phoenix, then the necromancer kind of gets what it wants.
Yeah, but the question is why? What? I know players, and if you're like, oh, this person, the necromancer's brother, was killed on the battlefield, and they're trying to bring it back by using the heart of a phoenix. I know the player group, because Spencer's in it, that are like, so let's just kill the fucking phoenix. What? Why are we? What? Why would we fight the deadly necromancer and the phoenix when we can just kill the fucking phoenix with the necromancer and call it a day? So what's the is it gonna upset the balance? The portal cannot be sealed unless the phoenix is returned. What's the shit that
I
needs
think
to happen?
that's where Valiant Knight comes in, to be like, you guys really can't kill that phoenix. Straight up, that it's super important you don't kill the phoenix. And it would just be first of all, evil. Don't kill a lawful good phoenix. Or, whatever. Maybe it's doing damage on accident. It's not purposefully destroying these villages, just flying by burns them. But second, it could just be the plane that it exists upon is reliant on the phoenix's heat. If you kill it, it's going to untether from that plane and be tethered on this plane. When it rebirths, which they always do, it's going to rebirth here. And then it can't get sent back to the other plane. You know what I mean? I could re-explain that if it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I like that. I think that the phoenix being here we have two phases, right? Phase one is the phoenix being here is making the plane of elemental fire kind of leak into this world a little bit. We're seeing, hot springs where it used to just be springs. We're seeing temperature differences. It's warm. And then eventually it comes out if that thing dies and is reborn here, a sizable portion of the magic of that plane will come here. It doesn't mean that this is going to turn into the plane of fire, but it might mean that a fucking volcano will appear in the middle of this kingdom. The ash will choke the sky for 2 years, and there won't be a summer. Like, there are stakes that are pretty fucking high if this goes off. I like that. I think that makes sense. Yeah, leeching plains.
And I mean, there it is.
So there's our
adventure done.
There's our kind of core plot line a little bit. So now, if we're trying to make a monster, a magic item into dungeon live, where do we? Let's do what we normally do in scheduling conflicts. God rest scheduling conflicts, man. A show that we simply don't get to run anymore because our most canceled production is no longer canceled on any regular basis. Jumping into in media res, right? So that's the whole adventure arc. We're not doing a whole adventure arc. We're doing a dungeon. So let's jump through 12 sessions of this adventure of going to the town and meeting the people and meeting the Phoenix Warden, the Fire Wardens, Druids of the South, and they teach you about the thing, and you learn the flame dance, and you do the Starklight ritual, and then it shows the way to the temple, and you Indiana Jones your fucking way over there. And then you go up to the gates of the Starwake Temple, and you see that the necromancer has injured the phoenix. It's going to roost in its lair. In its lair. With a capital L. The lair. Where it might have actions. And then you go to the Starklight Temple or whatever the fuck it is. You run up the steps. And now we're in a dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with this dungeon? Where did the phoenix or the necromancer run to in these final moments? Is this where... Number one, let's pick what we're doing. Are we trying to beat the necromancer to the phoenix? Or are we trying to interrupt the necromancer's sapping ritual or whatever the fuck, where they're getting the phoenix's juice out? So is it a race against time where you're here and like we're rolling Strahd-style random encounters to see if the necromancer and their lackeys show up, like when you're moving around Castle Ravenloft? Or is it... This is the necromancer's temple now. The phoenix is in there, and we need to fight our way through a bunch of undead, a la, fucking Baldur's Gate 3 shit.
I think number 2 makes the most sense. We're in the necromancer's castle, and they're about to drain the phoenix.
Okay. So, do we want to... Alright, so do we want to have them be in... I want to keep the... Do we want to do... We're in, like, the necromancer's gig, or do we want to be... in the knight's temple or whatever? Like, do we find the knight dead on the steps? Or do we find... Or did we get the secret information to know where the research is done? And blah, blah, blah.
I think we got the secret information to go where the research is done. Because if, like, all the traps and secret doors are open already in the knight's temple, it's not as fun. But her castle or his castle is going to be rife with traps. Sure.
Okay. So we're at like a so if there's a castle and we're out and about, that means we're at like a fort or a keep. That means, we've got there's not a town attached to it or anything. This isn't like a city with a central citadel or keep. This is like an outbound fort where this stuff is getting done. Then we know what our end fight is, right? We're in a big room, the phoenix is in chains, the necromancer's doing necromancer shit. I don't like, this is a critique I have of Wizards of the Coast Adventures. They never have the guts to say, this is the room for the big cool boss fight. They're always like, roll 1d6 and see if the big bad's in this large room with many different facets. And then there's a bunch of other rooms that they're like, roll 1d6 and see if they're in one of these places too. But they've clearly made like the big cool room to fight in, and you're like, why don't you just fucking tell me to put him in there? What are we doing? So, big fight in the big cool ritual room. I can actually say 100% of the adventures published by this company have had a big cool ritual room. I know because I
Oh,
have
it's
put
got-
all
As they
of,
should.
I know because I have put all of the ritual rooms in. I have done.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't be afraid to say big boss fight in here.
Now, hear me out. Hear me out about this room. When I think dead stuff, I think like cold. I think cold room, morgue, like freezers, all that shit. If this necromancer has their keep built into like an icy tunnel system, like something like that, and that's where the final confrontation is going to happen. So in the big room, if you're on the outskirts of it, there's like cold damage or exhaustion, or your movement slowed because you're in that area. Versus if you're too close to the phoenix in the middle of the room, the heat is too intense, so you're taking fire damage or whatever. But if you stay in the right area of the circles, so like if you're in the middle area, it's good. That's livable temperatures. I think that'd be fun. It's a fun thing
Little
to mess
mini
around
game.
with.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I was, the only change I would make is that I would make it a little more complicated. I would say that one of the like layer triggers is that I think that those should move. Like I think that the phoenix should flare. You should like roll a d6, and on a 1 or a 2, the phoenix flares. On a 5 or a 6, the ice like
That's fun.
contracts. And a 3 and a 4 is it stays the same, because that's the best option for you, is you don't all have to move with your with your
Yeah.
movement immediately. Moves, zones, and let me actually write a little bit more notes so that later I'm not like, what the hell?
And do you think that that's not a layer action, but it's like an environmental? Would that be top of initiative? Rip the d20 or d6?
Yeah, room effects normally are at initiative
Yeah.
count 20. Roll, whatever the hell, and see what happens. It's something I more associate with dragons that have regional effects, but it's close enough that I certainly don't feel like it's game breaking in any meaningful way. So 3 to 5 encounters is a one shot, and we tend to not be a big like spend 3 sessions in the same dungeon group. So let's try to find at least 2 more encounters, maybe 3.
I think that we've got 2 baked in. 1 is killing the necromancer, and 2 is probably freeing the phoenix, because it's chained up and it's super hot. So when you're interacting with it, you have to burn resources and health to free it.
Okay, so post defeat, the magic in the room begins to weaken, and you get the sense that this phoenix might go fucking cataclysmic. Like the volcano thing might happen unless you can somehow get it free. I like leaning in and saying, you've averted the global disaster that is this necromancer getting a hold of what they wanted. The regional disaster is still on the table. How are you going to free the phoenix before it can destroy this area in a pretty major way? Post defeat, free the phoenix.
Also, I'm going to hit you with this pitch while you're writing that out. This is for everybody. I like the idea that when you meet with the Valiant Knight in the temple, 6 sessions before this, he gives you a piece of ever-burning, like, coal affixed to a torch, and you use that as a guide for the phoenix to bring it back to the temple, where it can get sent back to the right plane. It follows it because it's used to that plane of existence. It wants to go back. It doesn't know how to get there. So that's what you're given as your magic item. So you just have ever-burning torch that you use as a guide. I think that's badass
fun.
as hell.
As long as every once in a while we can press a button and it explodes or something, for sure.
Oh,
Like you
yeah.
can dragon's breath, like off
Belch
of the
belch
top of it.
flame, yeah.
Yeah, the only other magic item I was thinking was like the phoenix feather, and it's like a quick revive if somebody's
So it's
been killed with.
the thing from Final Fantasy, the Phoenix Down from Final Fantasy.
I've actually never played Final Fantasy, so I don't know.
We're not a Final Fantasy household. I don't know
Deeply
anything
fun,
about
deeply,
Final
but you've
Fantasy.
just said it is like the iconic item. It's the Phoenix Down. That's so funny. I love that. All right, so we need minimum. If these are all hard encounters, we need one more. And then ideally maybe 2 after that. So if we've got our big necromancer fight, we've got this other thing. Now we're getting in kind of the area where dungeons... This is where the concept of the modern idea of what an adventure is kind of breaks down. I'm going to snap off a quick slice just for the audience. We like to make this an educational show. So the current assumption that when you show up in Strahd's castle, there's going to be a plot and a sort of reason to be there is a kind of radical and new invention in the world of TTRPG design, one that is not always present. Classic Ravenloft did it, and that's what Ravenloft was famous for, is they made like a big scary vampire with a bunch of vampire themed shit. But it didn't really get a plot until a little while later. Like, it was just the vague sense, like, go in the castle, keep Dracula from getting that thing he wants. In other areas, you start to see it crop up, but most of the time, it doesn't come out and say, and you're doing it to save Gilgaran, or whatever. It's like, you're doing it because you want money, and there's a bad man in there, and he's got money. You can take it when you're done. So the idea that a dungeon is a like video game style linear path very much leads into this thought that you're like, we have to get the necromancer to save the village. Whereas dungeon design, the way dungeon design is built, because it was built in the 60s by people building the classic war game, is in this room there are 5 goblins and the lieutenant Chernavalg. The players can completely fucking bypass this room. I can't be clear enough. Chernavalg has 9 pages of lore, and if they don't open that door, Chernavalg does not come up. So this is that moment where I'm like, so do we design 9 rooms because the players will take a logical path from the beginning to the end? Or do we pick our favorite, or do we pick the central path we would love for everybody to take? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that we can pick the central path because 3 out of the 9 rooms, in my experience, have 33%.
Yeah.
Nothing. They have literally nothing.
Yeah.
You walk in and they're like, there's a drawer and there's a chamber pot and there's a mirror. And it's like, is there anything interesting about these things? Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? There's
5
nothing in
gold
there.
pieces.
Or
That's
you-
it.
Not even. Not even.
You open a door to step through, and they're like, "There's 7 ghouls," and you're like, "What?" It's like,
Yeah,
7 ghouls.
that's the
in
other-
there.
There's 9 rooms. 3 of them are important. 3 of them have nothing. And the last 3 are just like, yeah, there's 6 ghouls. You can find a tiara that will give you command once a day. Like, what are we talking about? So we can pick the 3 important ones.
And in my favorites, there's also one more room that's a whole side quest. There's
yeah.
it's Jingle Bell Bob's in here, and he's got a whole fucking thing for you to do if you want. And you're just like, what the fuck?
We've got the werewolf leader here. Have you been following that plot thread? Because if you haven't been, it's going to be really confusing.
It's walking around Strahd's castle, and you open the door, and there's the skeleton of a silver dragon, and you go, huh? And you just shut that door and go another way, and you're like, I actually don't have time for this.
The placards at Argynvost, have we heard that name? No? All right.
We're done. We're leaving. All right. So then what's our big... Okay, so let's Legend of Zelda this shit then. So who's our scary lieutenant? Who have we seen the necromancer? Who's the necromancer's road dog who dies 20 minutes before the necromancer does?
Their first raised as like their title, and first raised Fallenback.
Fallenback first raised.
I love that. If I was a necromancer or a burgeoning necromancer, thinking about what I would raise first, the ideas range from sad to very sad. You know what I mean? Number 1, sad, I think is like a pet that I love deeply, and my 13-year-old power arises and I make my pet come back to life. Very sad is like, yep, that's the necromancer's parent that got brought back and has been over time just re-imbued with more necromantic magic and bones, that it doesn't look like a dog or the necromancer's mom. It is, but it's like, yeah, like
Yeah.
in the ship of Theseus type of way.
It's funny because if I was, my first thought, and I think this says a lot about us as people, if I was a necromancer, the first thing I would raise, it would be like getting my first tattoo. I would raise the smallest, shittiest thing I could find. I would raise something I
Rat.
didn't care about even a little. The thought that you start out the gate, first run, parents, is fucking crazy. I'd be like, nope.
That's
I'm gonna
what I mean.
I'm gonna set up a mousetrap outside, and we're gonna grind out mice for a while. We're gonna figure it out a couple. We're gonna hit. We're gonna go like mouse to boar to chimpanzee. Like I'm probably gonna try to find a primate, something that's like close to human, to give that a couple of whacks on before we jump to parents.
My thought is this kid has some sort of magic ability or
Sorcerer
affinity,
style.
and then one of these things dies, and it's just like I blast magic at it, and it worked.
It's just
That's it.
no, you're right. Like that's the trope, and I love that trope because what the fuck do you mean? No trial and error, none of that. Like Frankenstein.
No.
We all
Moment of
love
desperation.
Frankenstein. Beautiful story. He didn't start with a fish. Old Frank didn't give a bird a try first. He jumped right to dude. He came in at full-grown man. What? What are we talking about?
I love that because it's meant to be sort of analogous for God creating man. Obviously, his name's Adam, like all that stuff. But God also made a bunch of animals first. If you guys don't recall that, man, I don't think was even first in the Bible. It was animals for man to hunt. So just putting that out there. Frank was like, nah, I'm past that. I don't need that.
I'm better than God.
Yeah, which is kind of what Frankenstein is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So Thallenbeck first raised is this fused creature that is covered in repair patches of bone and necromancy, and is now this like I'm imagining kind of a walking fucking like a walking stinking cloud, or like a walking death cloud.
Mhm.
Like I'm imagining something that is toxic to even
Well, it
be
definitely has an
near.
aura.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, the classic, if you get within 10 feet of this thing, you're taking necrotic damage every round. It's that, like, this thing is such a black hole of necrotic power at this point that it's truly wild.
Yeah, if we make it a pet, then I think we make it pretty quick. If we make it a parent, it's a little bit slower.
I do like, by the way, forever, 1,000 million years ago, we designed one of our first big bads for Prospect, for the channel in general, and we designed Corellin the Toymaker, a lich, a sorcerer lich who was born so brilliant it drove him mad. Why is our favorite magic person trope they could cast spells since they were 9, and so now they are not doing okay? Giving boundless magical power to a 9-year-old, making them into a murderer, is our favorite shit. I don't know why we just do it every time.
Because what is it? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. If you're a 60-year-old dude and you finally figured out Fireball, I'm not worried about it. If you're a 6-year-old and you bring your dog back, I'm a little worried about where you're gonna end up. That's really bad. It's a bad lesson.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's our inner us being prodigy children growing up.
Yeah, exactly.
Burn
If I kept moving like I was at 8, things would be different around here.
I love trying to reframe the like classic convention of the burnout kid as you're all lucky. I saw the pattern and I backed out while you all had a chance. It's so funny.
I did this for you.
I would have invented a bomb so deadly. It's so funny.
Oppenheimer who?
Oppenheimer fucking 2, bitch. It would have been me. It's too good. All right, so this you encounter this walking Chernobyl of an undead that has been revived and re-revived and stitched together so many times that it is kind of preposterous. This is for me, this is a profoundly draining, like, shadow fight, people are losing points of dex. People are losing points of constitution. It's right before the boss fight. No one's happy about it. You kind of have to approach it safely. So what comes before the big lieutenant fight then? What happens before we fight good old Lieutenant? This is
Guys,
normally,
can I be honest?
we have combat problem solving, so we're somewhere in the problem solving zone.
I'm sick of a door with the puzzle. I'm sick of there's a knocker on it. If you ask him, please, he'll let you in.
Do we just want to do
I'm
trap?
sick of it. Yeah. How about if
We
you
don't do
touch the door,
trap
you get
very
blasted with lightning bolt?
It's funny, a trap is an encounter in D&D. Like, it can just be scary trap, like, for sure. Okay. Let's make it a mean piece of shit, though, because it's, like, in the Necromancer's thing. So here's what I want to know. What is the trap with a DC 15 that you're going to see and try to disarm? And then what is the trap with a DC 20 that is 3 feet behind it? I want the trap within a trap. I want it's like a tripwire, but if you trim the tripwire, it releases the weight and swings the scythe, and you're like, ah! Like...
See, I'm thinking like a door, if you touch it, it casts command on you almost.
Dominate person.
Yeah.
I do like the idea that maybe it's... let's go real classic. I love the idea that it's a spike trap. Like, a spike trap just opens, and so if the players are careful, they'll notice that there is a spike trap, and they'll just step out of the way, clip it, the spike trap swings open. I would love it if then just at the bottom of the spike trap is a glyph of warding that's just a command spell that says jump.
See, I was thinking
That's
like
hilarious.
command, first person that gets a command, and now that person's commanded to try and push people in.
Well, that's dominate.
Yes.
If you command push, the person does this.
Yeah, it'd be
It
dominate.
just
My
pushes
bad.
the air in front of them. So do we
I
want to
like
go
the idea of.
Go ahead. You're going to answer
I
my
think
question.
spike trap in front of the door. It's a 15. You're probably gonna see it. You're like level 8 at this point. And then you avoid it, and when you touch the door, the command spell goes off, and you have to jump into the spike pit. That's hilarious
That's
as hell.
funny.
The best thing about somebody falling into a pit like that, either everybody else has to join in and also go in the pit, or that person needs to find their own way out. It's like a slide into spikes. It's not like you can just drop the rope.
Oh, I see. So we want this to sort of lead down. So this is one of our fuckery detours. This is what I mean when I say the dungeon either has 3 encounters or 12. So this can,
This leads to one of the other 3 rooms that's bad. That isn't good at all.
If I write spike tunnel pit maze, future me will be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Any DM who's run more than 3 games has eventually gone, the staircase turns into a slide that slides you down to a maze. You got to go solve the maze. Have a good time. Like, there's always, there's one of those. Strahd's Castle has like 6. Strahd's Castle has like 6. Now you're in the dungeon.
It's like all that.
It's like, come
it's
the fuck
all
on.
that.
You were being nice with just one.
All right, that's 4. We need
Oh,
one
I'm not done.
more. Oh, no.
I think there's 6 more traps that all go to the same basement area, and you have to do the maze again.
Oh, that's tough.
That'd be funny. If somebody's marking the maze, like, I put this mark. This is the same place.
It's the same place, and if the right group having to map out the maze to then when you get dropped in, be like, what quadrant are we in? I see that we marked a 4 there. Okay, so they go to their like dungeon crawl map and they start going from there. Is hilarious. I would kill myself. I wouldn't play that
Oh my
game,
God,
but it
yeah.
is good for some groups.
Again, we're getting into the sauce here. I just wrote hex crawl trap cascade. Tomorrow me will be
Tell
like
me something.
that'll make sense. All right.
Optional rule: are your players masochists? Do they like?
Yeah.
All right.
How many times do you think? Sorry, go ahead.
We need a tone setting front door encounter. What were you gonna say?
I think the tone setting front door encounter, I think it would be cool to have it be the lieutenant. if Lieutenant's like the first mob you fight in the room, like in the building, would be cool.
And then it runs and you encounter it again?
I think that you just defeat the Lieutenant here, and then for the rest of the dungeon, you are like burn out of a bunch of spell slots. So you're doing minor, smaller combat encounters, but you had to burn a lot of resources to deal with essentially a mini boss.
So let me
off rip.
So I'll do a little crisscross. So then what's a medium encounter that happens in the dungeon? We said it earlier, if you want to be a real jackass, I like ghouls and ghasts because they paralyze. And it can make that encounter, it can make a pretty normal encounter really, really dangerous really fast in a way that I tend to think is fun. It gives you that secondary priority. If we don't want to be so on the nose, I don't think we have a big, like, fight 300 undead thing on here yet. Like, we have fight the big scary necromancer that's going to be using the Phoenix's power. And we have fight Thalenbach first raised. And if Thalenbach, by the way, and if Thalenbach turns out to be, like, Dairoshi, whatever this person's native language is for, like, whiskers...
Spot.
Yeah, that's powerful. That it's like Thalenbach sounds so scary, and it's like, oh, it means like Little Prince. It would be so fucked. I would do that to my players every time.
Yeah.
I'm
Michael,
also just gonna note the language Dairoshi because that.
If you want something that's kind of fits, but is a little weird, we could have like fire elementals coming in trying to get.
I was gonna say the same thing. I think ghouls and ghasts, absolutely. I think even like there being a bunch of undead around the castle before you get to the trap, cool. I do think fire, like flame elementals, is really cool because they're populating nearby where the Phoenix is locked up.
Is there any degree of mixing here? Like, do you run in on a
flame zombie?
One of my favorite options, although it is more complicated for the DM, is we would stumble into a fight. We would see like some
Skyrim
undead
style
fighting some of these elementals, but they both hate you.
That's fun.
I think it's a good mid-dungeon encounter because it also cues up that. It also is a good ping reminder of why we're here.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't getting a little worse. Elementals are now starting to just emerge out of the ground. That's some like Demogorgon has been on Earth for too long and we're becoming a plane of the abyss shit. Like, that's bad.
I do think that what's really good about this is it prevents a long rest in dungeon. A lot of players will clear a room and then bar the doors and say, let's take a 7-hour sleep. You can't do that. Elementals are popping up at an exponentially faster rate.
It's always driven me insane, by the way. How do you not just wake up to all of the doors of the room you're in nailed shut and a fire burning to blow smoke into one of the windows? Like, everyone should suffocate in their sleep every time they do that.
But now they really would suffocate in their sleep because the fire elementals would smoke them out on accident.
So elemental undead mashup it sets stakes. It lets the party know that they can't just rest on their laurels. And with that, you arrive there through Misted Wood of some kind. You enter and find Thalenbach first raised. You have to deal with this, like, entourage of either undead. If it's an animal, then I think that there's probably, like, a whole undead fucking menagerie in this moment that I think would be kind of fun. If it's a parent, then it can be them and shades and shadows, I think are a pretty good classic, like, oh shit, this is bad. Then from there, you deal with the spike trap, hex crawl trap cascade of just falling down into the dungeon. Fuck! All right, left, right, left, right, left. Fuck. Okay, cool. We're back up to the top. Son of a bitch! Just looping and looping and looping, I think is very funny. From there, you encounter some elementals and some undead duking it out. You jump into that fight out of necessity. They are both targeting you and each other. It's very chaotic. As you continue forward, eventually... you follow the path of these elementals and you find the ritual room. Making your way inside, you fight the necromancer, who is, some wailing, gnashing of teeth, half undead, crazy nonsense. If the party is high level, they're a lich. If the party's mid level, they're a necromancer. If the party's low level, they're Mickey Mouse in the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and they are a grade A dipshit who is in over their head. And you can do all three quite easily and not cause too much of an issue. Then it's... You see that the phoenix is bound by its wings and its feet, and there's a magic circle on the ground. What do you do to free the phoenix? I'm setting a timer for 15 minutes. Everyone choose one action. Blah, 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 blah. You know, the classic bullshit. I say bullshit. The classic thing that is fun in the moment, but when you're describing it in advance, you're like, everybody rolls a die, and pretty much no matter what happens, it works. Like, it's... Unless they all catastrophically fuck up and your table is big into player death, it's like, oh, a 12? Well, actually, because Tom's there with you. Well, do you remember that the knight gave you the torch, so you have advantage because of the torch?
The
It's
torch
a lot of
actually
that
solves. It's a key now.
You see with 12, you don't get what you wanted, but you see a lever on the wall. Yeah, just immediate redirect stuff. And from there, the phoenix erupts out of the place. You avert the immediate disaster. You take the Everflame torch and you use it to T-Rex the phoenix. along the way. You get to describe the knight on a horse holding the torch aloft in the rain, riding back to the portal or whatever the shit. You bring them back. Everybody goes, whoa, good job. You did the dang thing. And then at the conclusion, I don't know, the necromancer's hand terminators out of a fucking stone or whatever. I don't know. Some shit happens. Pretty
The
solid.
brother was never dead to begin with.
Oh yeah,
Now
we do
it's
the
necromancer's brother.
we do the initial reveal. We go to the battlefield. We see this battlefield out. We zoom out to the battlefield full of corpses, and we see a body buried under one of those mounds that forms as people die and fall onto others, and we just see a hand. And somebody who looks a lot like the necromancer pulls their way out. The necromancer was wrong. His brother's alive the whole time. Yeah, pretty good.
Now you got to deal with this fallout.
Oh my god, his
So
eyes turned
that's a
black or whatever.
callback to Jurassic Park. So that's Gishath. And I said you have to deal with that Fallout. That's a Fallout reference. We've really done basically all of our decks.
We got all our
efficiently.
decks.
Run the gamut here.
In
All
a
right,
way.
with that,
Just throw a slime in there, we're golden.
I mean, it's 8:30. I think we're pretty much good to go. The only question I have a little bit is the magic item, but we know you get the Everflame torch. It's just, do you also get something for doing the Phoenix stuff? Michael's idea of, I kind of like you get a Phoenix feather. The next time some dipshit dies, the Phoenix feather does what Phoenix
come back.
feathers do. Or if the party is level 18, a Phoenix feather being a true resurrection,
True.
Control Z, I think is pretty good.
The idea of an auto-consume item is really fun, though. Like, the
It
next
is.
time somebody in your party dies, they are immediately brought back, and that feather burns away. You don't need to remember you have it. You don't need to think about using it. And if you try and do some dumb party malarkey, where you're like, oh, we'll kill him temporarily, and then he'll go to this plane. You forget you have the feather. He dies. He immediately comes back, and you burnt that item.
No.
I also
Oh, the feather!
I also like, in a more stupid category of the same thing, I also like that means the party's gonna be like, wait, how many fucking dot saves are you at? I failed one. Fuck, if he not one, so we're gonna lose the goddamn Phoenix feather. Get over there.
We're saving that!
Fuck. Truly, like,
It being...
somebody falling off a cliff, and it's like, oh, they fell off a cliff and they die. You're like, all right, make your first death save, and everybody's laughing, and then somebody's like, wait. Who has the fucking Phoenix feather? And it's the asshole who jumped off the cliff and died at the base. They're like, wait. I jump too. Oh, the cleric jumps. Can I cast resurrection while I'm falling?
If the Phoenix feather is an integral quest item, even better. Even
funny.
better. Like,
It's
you
so
need
funny.
it to bring back the long lost king or whatever, the long dead king. But if you burn it on your party member, whoops.
So funny.
We gotta go back
funny.
now.
We gotta go back. This sucks.
We're bringing the Phoenix back to life. We're getting the feather, and then we're relocking it up.
We're running
I
the
don't care if
back.
there's a volcano.
All right. With that, we have plenty of time left. We have, 29 minutes. I mean, we can descend into Bit City. We might need to end a little early. We've always, if we run out of runway, we're not gonna, I don't think we should stick around just so that people can hear us. Yeah.
I was gonna say, do we want to really flex and try and speed run a dungeon now with a card pull?
Okay,
It doesn't have to
here's
be
what
a
I'm
great
thinking.
dungeon.
We could do a boss
We
fight.
have until 8:45 to pull each of us pull a card and then make like bare bones dungeon boss fight, like 3 encounters.
Same deck? Do we want to stick with the same one?
Yeah, I think there's enough versatility in here to go with the same.
All right,
Okay.
so I'm gonna say everybody
Shuffle.
just draw your own card. We don't have time to mess
Just draw.
around.
Drawing land. Okay.
Patriarch's Bidding. I don't know if you
Pretty
guys can
cool.
see it. It's a crazy looking werewolf
That
and a bunch
is
of werewolves
cool.
kneeling to it. It's one of the coolest cards in my deck.
I got exsanguinate.
Ooh.
I got a vampire eating,
Wow.
drinking all the blood on offer.
We're just making Curse of Strahd. Michael, what did you get?
I did not get a Christmas Rod thing. I got Teapot Slinger.
that a little raccoon.
Interesting.
Yep, it's raccoon.
Interesting. Rocket
Uh,
raccoon with teapots instead of guns.
I've got it.
Yes.
I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. I've got it.
Yep.
All right, my pitch. My pitch. It's so obvious. This is it is Curse of Strahd, Spencer. You're so right. It is a vampire adventure, and the only thing I know about it is that in this adventure, your Van Helsing is a little pyromaniac raccoon. Is like, I love the idea that in the world of Bloomborough, you're playing fucking, what's the mouse game? You're playing Mouse Ritter, and a vampire shows up, and this like grizzled raccoon with firebolts is like, I know how to slay them, but I know their wily ways. And you just have this little like gnarled.
Okay, here it is. There is a traveling colony of vampire bats. Like they roam the country, going from location to location. After they totally desanguinate one spot, they go to the next. This person had run far, far away, and it's been like 30 years since he encountered the colony, the Teapot Slinger, the Van Helsing. He's telling your party what to do from his knowledge from when he was a child. And it's a colony because of Patriarch's Bidding. The one you have to kill is like the old grizzled vampire bat, and the rest of them will fall away if you're able to kill the leader of that group.
I like that.
I mean,
it's kind of it's a fun idea. I really like the idea that vampires are nomads. And so it's like, oh, how do they deal with, people like hunting them? And it's like, well, because they come back once every 60 years.
yeah,
it's-
it's a big circle.
They come back in time for people to have spread the legends and convinced themselves that garlic will get it done. It's just enough time that people start to be like, stop telling those old... Oh, fuck! Like,
They're eating me!
it's so real. It was real the whole time. Yeah, no.
It'd
It gives...
be fun to need like an elf to know the migratory patterns of a vampire colony, because nobody else
Yeah.
lives long enough to really understand it.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, that as a standalone bit and not having to develop the dungeon, just taking 5 minutes to rip the cards and then say this is the thrust of the adventure is pretty cool.
Oh god, yeah, I love that.
That's
as a
fun.
bit.
Yeah, we did it in 4 minutes. we did it in a truly unfathomably short amount of time. And I do want to say I would play the hell out of this, like, the thought that in a normal D&D adventure, I think it's deeply funny to have a raccoon man sort of were-rat style who's like, I know their ways. It's like, hey, we've brought an expert. I don't know. It says something about the kind of games I run, that it's very fun to be like, we have brought an expert on necromancy to tell you why we think the king is secretly a vampire. And it's some like distinguished peppered-haired doctor that you found in your mission and you saved him from a werewolf. It says something that my far preference is you being like, we, the adventuring party that is the main characters, have brought this specialist to convince you, because you said we needed to bring one, and we saved him from bears. And a little raccoon climbs up on top and is like, I have tracked the vampiric spawn for 2,000 years. My name is Aloysius Cornelius Fitzroy III. And you're like, God damn it, we told him to introduce himself as APC. I don't know why he's doing this. He's fucking up the script right
we tried
away.
our best. I've got a list of 100 iconic fictional characters
sure.
here.
Also, everybody look forward
And
to
I think this will be our
Spencer's
last
next
bit.
on-stream character, Aloysius Cornelius.
Gonna have to lock that one in real quick. Ethan, roll the 100. Yeah. Michael, roll the Ethan, roll the 10s. Michael, roll the 1s.
Yes, chef. 90.
Wow.
1.
91.
Sort of opposite each other there. That's interesting. 91.
Oh no.
Boys, we got Bilbo Baggins himself. What do we think Bilbo Baggins is? If I had to think about, let me think for a second.
Oh.
What do we think Bilbo Baggins is?
All right.
You know, sort of the archetype, sort of where D&D got its teeth.
If he was a kind of archetypical character, if all the other dudes in the party were to call him something all the time when they said what his job was.
You know.
All right, I'm going to try to think of a dumb answer. I'm going to ponder a dumb answer.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the weird stuff too.
Oh, I got one.
Okay. I'm thinking hard. I'm having a hard time thinking of even something funny.
I've got a good I got a good side bet. I have 3. I have a trifecta I could do. So those of you who aren't familiar, we take a pop culture character and we try to assign their class in Dungeons and Dragons and subclass if something strikes our fancy or not. That is our sort of theme here.
Okay, I've got mine.
All
Michael,
right.
do you have yours?
I'll go last.
Okay, I'll go first then because I like mine. Mine is either a character mulligan or this DM wanted everyone to start as like level 0, like commoner stat blocks.
Survivor.
I have Bilbo Baggins down as a warlock of the undead. Blessed with an unnaturally long life and spiritual shadowy powers from the ring, the sign of his patronage, to Sauron, whose ring he sequesters out of, fucking, what's his dick, out of, oh god, Gollum's cave. So I think that's a little, if we treat that moment as a signing of a contract, right? I will help you on your quest if you get me the fuck out of this cave, this little rat man.
That's fun.
So that's my bid. I think he's a warlock to his patron, and I think that's why we see him age when he loses the ring. I think that's the breaking of his contract many years later when Sauron realizes this bitch ain't gonna pay up. He's not delivering me to Mordor anytime soon.
What the hell? Mine is Bard, College of Valor. He loves telling stories in his little hobbit hole.
Loves it.
He likes telling all the kids about what happened, all the heroes. And that's what the College of Valor is about. It's about keeping the memory of heroes alive. That's what he does.
He spends way more time doing that shit than burgling. That's a fact.
Yeah, now I know what you're saying. You're like, he doesn't really do that in the movies. I'm talking about old Bilbo. I'm talking about Bilbo in Lord of the Rings, not the Hobbit. That's why you're thinking maybe he should be a thief, but no. He's a Bard College of Valor. He just likes to tell stories. And he likes to rip on a pipe every now and then. And I think every bard would like to rip on a weed pipe.
I mean, there we go.
So, Michael, what you got?
So, I'm going with the weird one here. I'm going with Fighter. Subclass specifically, Psy Warrior.
A psychic?
What?
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
So he is very specific with science. It's not really magic. It's close though. I think his magic comes from the ring. Really, he gets his somewhat magical ability with invisibility. He gets way luckier than he should. He has resistance to the ring tempting him. And he pulls up. He wins fights he never should.
I guess I take my option back and I go with Thief Rogue because no one else took it.
Nobody said Thief Rogue.
All the weird stuff.
Thief Rogue. So we have 4 options. Everybody in chat, go ahead and tell us which one you think that he really is. I would love to know what you guys think. What class Bilbo is?
I think there's a
I
compelling
think
argument to be
College of
made for
Valor.
Warlock. I think there's a compelling argument
oh,
to
yeah.
be made for Warlock.
College of Valor, depending on the movie you're watching or the book you're reading.
huge.
So that's my take.
Hear me out.
You want to be out there.
I think he is a multi-class. I think he has one level of rogue, one level of warlock, one level of fighter from the. I think part 1 of the Hobbit, one level of rogue. Part 2 of the Hobbit, one level of warlock. Part 3 of the Hobbit, one level of fighter, and then I think he gets like 3 levels of bard over the course of the next 60 years of his life.
Yeah.
And then we encounter him as the sort of warrior poet that he is in Lord of the Rings, where he's like, I'm gonna go on foot to fucking Rivendell. And you're like, you're 68 years old and by yourself. And he's like, I'm bringing a knife. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
That's all I need.
The other 2 times we see people try to get to Rivendell, both times they almost die. And then Bilbo just fucking big stepper underground just rolls
Yeah,
up
he's
solo
good.
with no help. What do you mean?
So true. Guys, I think that's it though. We did 2 bits. 1 new bit, in fact.
A new bit. I like the new bit. I think the 5-minute rip is pretty fun. All right, well, I guess with all that being what it is, we are going to call it here. We try to not overstay, and if we get done early, I guess we get done. You know what? This is us. We're checking out a little early because it's almost the holidays. You know, we got to get
Got to
started.
get ready for Thanksgiving.
True.
Spencer's got a big turkey to brine. He's got a bucket out, and he's got to get the turkey in there any minute now.
I do. That's all true.
He does. He's been working over. So he almost said he wasn't going to be able to make it today because he said he quote had to massage the bird.
I'm brining so hard.
It's
You
true.
know what I mean?
People say this. They say you can leave it in there. Not true. You got to be
Nope.
doing. There's at least.
You gotta
100 enforced.
agitate.
You got to agitate. You got
to agitate
Spencer
the
has a
brine.
15-minute timer that's been going off every 15 minutes since September 9th, just to keep it.
If you've seen me
moving.
look over or like my arms out of frame, I'm brining. I'm
It's
agitating.
turkey agitation exclusively.
It's right here off screen.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. You have caught a variety of fun and exciting things over here. Are they about to catch Blades in the Dark, or did they just catch Blades in the Dark?
They just caught it. It should be live. If it's not live on YouTube, it is. YouTube just has a problem with podcasts.
So if you enjoyed any of the Prince of Charming and you said, you know, the only thing this is me missing, being from the ground up made for production, I've got news for you. You can jump into a fun, exciting, slightly dark, mostly lighthearted voyage into Duskfall in the world of Blades in the Dark. We ran our first ever game of Blades in the Dark set in the world of Blades in the Dark. We have always said it in some homebrew nonsense. This just took place in the city of Duskfall, making its way through a you get to join us as we join a cult worshipping a dead god, trying to find some heisty way to get it back into the real. So tune into episode 1 of that, get a feel for what you think, and there's plenty more to come. I think you said like 9-ish episodes for this one.
9 episodes.
And after that, we have more exciting stuff coming down the pipe. Maybe a Christmas break, maybe like a little interlude sometime around then, but keep posted. We're still every other with videos on the alternating, right? So you can catch those every other week. So you just caught one. Congratulations, give that a listen. Next Monday, you're going to catch a video. The week after that, we return to Duskfall, on and on and on and on. Maybe someday we move back to weekly, but alas, jobs happen, and people, we couldn't quite keep up maintaining both. With all that being what it is, tune into that. Tune into this next week. Check out Game Master, Master of Games on Sunday. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Thanksgiving. Peace out.